Hello out there. We're on the air. It's curling day today, coming to you live from the San Francisco Bay Area Curling Club. It is the women's final game one here at Oakland, California. This is your host, Ryan, with you as I get the scoreboard set up, uh, which you can't see yet. We are showing the first game of a possible two in the women's final between Team Asis of Silicon Valley Bay Area, Silicon Valley Curling Club versus Team Feldman of Wine Country Curling Club. So it looks like Feldman is playing with the blue rocks and Asis is playing with the yellow rocks as we are underway with rocks in play here early in the first end. This is your host, Ryan, bringing you all the action of today's Championship Sunday, including the women's final and the two men's semifinals. The two men's finals happening on the adjacent sheets. We will keep you updated and we will do look ins as I can when I can look over and see what might be going on. So they did do a draw to the button. I'm not entirely sure how Hammer was determined for this draw because sometimes uh, the winner of the pool, by the nature of winning the pool or the round robin, gets to have the advantage of last rock and the color of stones. So as we continue through the game, I'll kind of go over how we got here as the teams found themselves in this playoff. Also go through some of the players, some fun facts about them, and just cover the action as it happens here from sheet two from sunny Oakland, CA. So it looks like Feldman's trying to draw into the house to sit something and maybe play with it. Good morning, Micah. uh, Asis is shot stone right now as we look at the Manitoba Mutton Manufacturers of America button cam. Uh, Yellow is shot barely, so it looks like Asis is going to make a play on that stone. And it looks pretty good. Maybe it's curling a lot, but I think it's going to make contact. So there's also the chance of it jamming, which it did jam, but actually not enough to stick around. So two blues go away, and that was a double takeout. And it looks like Katie Feldman, the skip of Team Feldman, is dialing up a takeout, double takeout. So this looks like it overcurled. Also, they may have not been trying for the double takeout. They may have been trying to just hit and roll. Um, in either case, I don't think the shot was made. So now Assis is sitting two, and I think looking to see what to do to kind of secure their advantage. And it looks like the call is to split the rings. It's a net shot coming from the second, I believe, Julie Wolf, and looking to split the rings here. This could be a little light. They are sweeping the heck out of it. I think It will actually get into the house and I think bite the 12-foot circle there. Actually, no. The button cam, I say the button cam never lies, but it never tells the whole truth. But in this case, I think it is telling the truth that it is outside of the rings. So net stone coming from Team Feldman, looking, I think, to move some granite around. The sweepers are on it early, but they got off. Going to definitely move one, maybe get two. Okay, so they got one out of the house. And so now Feldman is second and third shot, while Assis is first, but they're also behind a Feldman blue. So that could be trouble for Assis, depending on what she does with her next shot. We're looking at the third for this game, Melissa Wheeler. I was discussing with a member of Team Assis before the game. They're a five-person team. So the one of the players is observing the game from the warm room, while the other players kind of move up and down the order as needed, as their roles are best suited for them. They're looking to draw around that corner guard that was put up, and this looks to be a little heavy. Let's see if okay, so Silicon Valley jumped on it, and then once they crossed the T line, they let Feldman escort the stone from the premises. So unfortunately, a miss there. And so now Feldman wants to blow up that pair of blue and yellow stones there on the left side. Let's see what third Laura Lunetta has dialed up. This is Laura's last. Looks like they're going to maybe clip the yellow. Yeah. It's not going to jam, but also the shooter's not going to roll, not going to stick around. It rolls out of play. So good takeout would possibly be better if they were able to stick around. So I think now Asis is doing some cleanup, looking to hit the blue at the top of the house, and maybe do run it back to the blue in the back and do a double takeout. Let's see what Melissa Wheeler has dialed up. So definitely encouraging some sweeping action. Uh, got the one. The shooter's going to roll out of the play. So keeping a clean house, which is not a bad opening strategy. I was going to say, I don't know if it benefits either team. I think it favors Assis. Uh, Sis. Just because if they keep a clean house, there's a chance to blink the end, carry the hammer to the important even ends. Even ends are important because it kind of sets up so if the game does go to eight ends of regulation, the that team would have the hammer in that very important last end. This first round coming from Skip Katie Feldman. This looks pretty good. I might need to sit down. And it does just go a little deep, but not too bad. It does kind of set up a double there for Team Assis. And that seems to be what they're looking at. It looks pretty good. If they just hit that blue, uh, I think pretty close to dead on, dead center, it will run that blue straight back onto that blue in the 12 foot, and both blues will go away. And then Assis would be sitting one, and Feldman would probably make a play on it. and then Asis would have a takeout for a possible blank of the first end. So Jennifer Asis gets set in the hack and delivers some up weight there. Looks like it's curling, so Wheeler's trying to hold it straight. It looks like it might be over curling, but it's going to get one. Is it going to get two? It does not. Although Feldman perhaps could have swept that that yellow further out of the house, but it came to a stop in the 12 foot, closer than the blue. So that means Assis is shot buried, and that means either a Feldman to try and take it out. It is pretty exposed, especially when you look at it from the head-on view, or I think what they're going to try to do is draw around that corner, sit. When you look at the overhead, kind of draw around that corner guard on the right side and sit on the tee line in between the is and Alone from or Alone from This Is Alone Land. So Feldman's shot is away here, her last of the first. Definitely want to make sure that it is in position. Sweepers jump on it. Oh, this could be coming up light. They need to make sure this is shot, or they're also giving Assis a free shot for two here, and looks like a pretty good outcome. Just a little bit lighter than I would think they would like. And then if you look at it from this view or the head-on view, it's about 60 feet, about 80%, 80% open. So Assis could just kind of chip that out, hit and roll, and if it sticks to shooter, that would be a two for Assis to open up scoring. I think they're want to make sure that it doesn't jam on that yellow in the back. That would be less than ideal outcome. While they are setting up this shot, let's discuss the two men's games on the ice. There are two men's semifinals. They're looking to punch their ticket to the final, and more importantly, punch their ticket to Arena National Championships coming up early November in Mesabi, Minnesota, or Kuromasabi. The men's teams are on sheet three. Team Spangler of Wine Country taking on Team Burnt of Orange County. The other men's semifinal is on sheet four. It is the up and coming Hearst team from Oval Curling Club of Utah taking on Team Waddington of Orange County. Looks like no score has been posted so far, but we will keep you up to date as best we can while we focus on our feature sheet where Jennifer's last shot is away. They're sweeping at it, needs to make sure that it doesn't over curl into the yellow. This looks like it might be really close, but it's good. Oh, it did jam. So I think the possibility that they were looking to avoid happened. It is just a point for one, but it's better than the alternative. Team Assis is up 1-0 over Feldman as we will come back in just a moment to the women's final at the Arena Playdowns. welcome back. As you can see, this is our around the rings coverage, and I'm not seeing any score posted. So it looks like at least two teams are in their second ends. Actually, all three teams are in their second end, so we will have scores soon. We'll definitely keep you updated while we return to our feature sheets, where it is Team Aces from Silicon Valley taking on Team Feldman from Wine Country Curling. Rots are in play as we see the second rot coming from the lead for Team Aces. That would be, uh, I'm not quite sure. I'll double check. But they were able to hit out the Feldman stone in the house. And so it looks like Feldman is asking her lead to dial up a takeout there. With some upweight there coming from lead Leanne Shearing, a Canadian who had never curled in Canada. I hope she rectifies that at some point. This needs to curl up a bunch. Katie's encouraging her on. And then the sweepers escort that yellow from the premises. The shooter rolls out, so we're just kind of resetting a little bit. There's that center guard, and that center guard is on the center line. The center guard no tick rule is in effect, where an opposing team cannot move an opponent's stone off of that center line in the guard zone until the sixth stone of the end. This next rock coming from, I believe, Julie. This is going to be a draw around the center there. And that goes out of play. So now Feldman is going to ask her second, Melissa McGuire, to take on that draw around that center guard. This is the sixth rock of the end, so Feldman could clear that guard. However, that guard is still potentially useful to either team, so that's probably not going to go away until utterly necessary. So Feldman apparently was calling for line. Some chuckles as she exclaimed, "That's not line." And it was a little tight. It does make contact on that center guard, but again, that no tick rule was off at that point. So that was able to be moved without causing a violation. So this is Julie's second stone here. She was in the 2019 Pacific International Cup representing Team California as lead. This looks pretty good for a nose hit. Does set up a double on the center front of the house if a Feldman were to take it on. But again, as I noted, those guards are still potentially useful to try and generate some offense. As we see the net shot coming from Melissa McGuire, who started curling in 2018. She loves her dog Apollo and doing house projects and then second guessing and regretting her decision as she should have just paid someone to do it. This one looks to be maybe a smidge heavy, but they're happy with it as it settles in the back eight. So now there's a path for Aces to follow Feldman down. Melissa Wheeler gets set into the hack. She's been to Arena Nationals before in 2018, 19, and 22. Uh, in those earlier years, she was a vice or second and reached the quarterfinals one year and earned bronze the second year. Last year, she was skipping the team and finished in fourth place. This one looks to be a little heavy.
Although it might come back and maybe wick the blue in the back, but no, it does not. And so now Feldman can put another one in as she gestures at the top of the house and be sitting two and really amp up the pressure to Aces to avoid giving up a multiple point end. This net stone coming from the Vice. And this one's a little bit heavy. That goes out of play. And so now the possibility shifts to Aces. It's a very similar path to what they threw last time, so I think Wheeler gets another chance at it, and curlers very rarely miss the second time they try the same shot. But let's see what is dialed up here as the stone is coming towards the house. This one is really pretty good. So it's now Aces sitting shot, and Feldman wants to follow Wheeler's stone down. As Laura Lunetta's second shot goes down the way. Laura started curling in 2014, loves animals, music, a certain bassoonist, baking bread, knitting sweaters for her dog Daphne, getting starlet by her dog Pepper, and cuddling her cats Olive and Willow. Feldman encouraging the sweepers on, and great draw there by Lunetta. She shot on the lid, and I don't think Aces is going to be able to easily pick that out. And those center guards are really being very useful this end. As Jennifer Aces makes her way down the ice, it looks like they're going to try and draw, maybe put one on the corner of that blue that was just placed there by Laura Lunetta. Jennifer Aces has a pretty impressive curling resume. She was also a participant at previous Arena National Championships, including 2019, 18, 17, and 15. I don't think they're happy with it. Let's see how it winds up. No, it is wide. It's gonna maybe settle in the back 12, even though Feldman would try to escort it from the premises, and she does. It is on the back line, so it is sticking around. As people who know, a stone has to fully cross the back line to be out of play. If it touches the sidelines, they're automatically out as soon as it touches. And then that blue line, that hog line on the left side of the screen from this view, a stone has to fully cross over the hog line into the field of play to remain in play, or else it's removed. There's an exception to that rule, which comes up every once in a while. Maybe we'll see it today. Thank you to the comments. It's Leanne who's throwing third for Feldman. I got confused there. I will make a note. So it looks like they're going to draw. I think they would probably put up a guard, maybe to the top 12 behind the yellow as Katie Feldman makes her delivery. This, I think they maybe were hoping for a little bit more curl, but it's not. Ah, goodness. I think it sets up a potential double for Aces to take on. If they hit it on the inside of that bottom blue from this view, and it could roll to the blue on the house, or they could hit the blue on the outside, the bottom blue on the outside, and accomplish the same effect. I think hitting it from the outside could be the better shot just because those center guards are up there, and you want to make sure it doesn't wreck on those yellows. They're definitely looking at that double. And as always, if you guys see something in the chat that I might not be seeing, let me know. That's one of the great things about this game is that we can look at the same situation and see different possible outcomes. And that's something that the skip has to go through dozens of times a game, if not hundreds of times, because they're looking at what happens if they make their shot, they miss their shot, and they're thinking about what could happen. What does the other skip do in response, and what does the first team do to respond to that, and so on and so forth. There's a lot of permutations. And then, like, once the shot is underway, is the shot made? Or if the shot's not made, what's the plan B? Or I like to say plan F, J, and W, because you kind of run out of plans. Looking for the in off double here. This is Jennifer Asis's last in the second. This looks pretty close. Called off the sweepers. Gets one, gets two, makes them both go away. And the audience in the warm room gives a cheer for Jennifer's great double takeout there. And so now uh, Feldman has a double of her own, although it looks to be just for one. So last time I suggested maybe going inside or outside, or I take that back. I think they might be just drawing for one because I don't think there's a strong advantage for taking this double on. Because if they take the double on, they would only get one, or just drawing for one is still one, and it's a less risky shot. So this is Katie Feldman's last. She's been curling since 2014, twice won bronze at Arena Nationals. So these are two very experienced teams as far as it goes in terms of going to Arena National Championships. This is a draw. This looks pretty good. There's a little bit of backing in the back, as long as it doesn't like go through a gap or anything. But perfect shot there, and that is one for Feldman. And we are all square here at the San Francisco Bay Area Curling Club, where let's take a look around the rings. We'll be right back. Well, I'll be here. We'll get back to our feature sheet in just a moment. As we go to the third end, I need to update the end graphic. So looking around the rings, sheet two is our feature game where it's tied 1-1. Sheet three is the men's semifinal one between Team Spangler of Wine Country with the Red Rocks, taking on Team Burnt of Orange County with the Yellows. It looks like they're pretty close to the end of the end, and it appears that Spangler is sitting one without the hammer in the second, and so they have a chance for stealing. Uh, Definitely does look like they're close to skip stones. On sheet four, contest between Team Hearst of Oval Curling Club of Utah taking on Team Waddington of Orange County. It looks like they are doing fairly well in terms of the progress through the end. Lots of Hearst Reds in there. They have the hammer after Waddington stole the first. So Hearst is with the red. Let's look around the sheets and just see how they're doing. Looks like Hearst wanted to draw another one into the house, and they did. Raised one of the reds already there. So now they're sitting five. It's pretty impressive. So let's see if we can do a count of stones there. So there's two more rocks in this end for both teams. Well, one team, both teams have one rock left. So let's stick with this. There's a really big chance for Hurst to get a big number here in the fourth. Uh, while I say that they're discussing the shot, let's peek over at sheet three just to see how three is doing. So sheet three, this looks to be hard to tell if it's their last shot or not. Looks like uh, again this on this sheet, Spangler of one country is red, Burns of Orange County is yellow. Orange County has the hammer down to, I think it's their last shot, and I think they're maybe trying to see how they could possibly get two here. So let's shift back to three, or shift back to four, pardon me, as it sounds like a shot's underway. Okay, we're just in time. So resetting sheet four. This is Waddington's last without the hammer, facing five. So this is a key shot. I think they're looking to maybe hit and roll. Sweepers are on it. The person throwing the rock doesn't seem annoyed that they missed. This could be disaster though. Oh goodness, it's going to just clip. Okay, this did not. This could be a good outcome. Oh right, not a bad outcome. It sticks around for looks to be second or third shot. It's hard to say. However, that yellow looks pretty open from this overhead view. So all Hurst has to do is pick that out, and they score a six-ender. So this is a huge chance for a crooked number there by Team Hurst. Looking at sheet three, they are done with the end. Um, they're kicking rocks. I think Bert may have gotten just the one. So looking back at our sheet four that you've seen this entire time, a nose hit for six. This is David Hurst. He's throwing fourth. His teammate Ramin Gilbert is throwing third and holding the broom, calling the game. It's working out great for them. They finished top of Pool B and have a chance to really open up this game. And if they win this game, they punch their ticket to nationals and have a chance to win this championship. Sweepers are on it. And now the sweepers are off. A little bit of a slip there, but not too bad. And it sticks around. Oh my goodness. Some round of applause from the warm room as count them up 4, 5, and 6. That is Team Hurst there, opening up a big lead over Team Waddington from Orange County. Let's revisit our feature sheets where obviously rocks are in play. This is a very fast moving event. Let's see here. The camera moved before I did. All right, lots of rocks in play. Uh, you could say lots of rocks. I don't know. We do have a fun broadcasting this tournament, and I hope you guys are enjoying the broadcast as we watch the stone coming down the ice for Julie Wolf. This looks to be maybe a little heavy as Feldman is going to escort it from the premises. So now I think Feldman wants to have Leanne. Yeah, this is Leanne's first. Throw her just I think around the center under those guards. I say those guards. Now you can see those guards. Those guards are to the right of the center line. Leanne wants to draw around. Oh, I see her name on the shirt. It's Leanne Shearing. I definitely appreciate the feedback from the audience. It definitely helps make our broadcast better, and we definitely do want to bring the best that we can to our viewers and to people seeing their friends and family. We're just very happy to be here, and I say this a lot. I'm very thankful for everyone, their support and their dedication to help ensure this first ever MoPac Arena Playdowns was a success. So Melissa Wheeler gets set in the hack. I think they're just looking to hit out that shearing stone and maybe roll to the wings. Some gentle weight there, a gentle takeout weight. This looks pretty close. It's going to clip the blue, but doesn't hit it solidly enough, and so the shooter is going to roll out of play. So it's a pretty open house, but Aces has the advantage right now with one stone to the wings that Feldman is choosing to ignore for now. As we see Leanne's next shot, again, trying that draw again. Let's see if she can get that tucked under those guards a little bit more this time. So this looks pretty good. Uh, Feldman gives a wave of thanks as it does get around those corners. It's sitting shot, pretty well buried. And so now Aces has the question of what she wants to do. She's asking for her hack weight. I think I think she wants to take that on. The plan B is to wreck on the guards and just to open up the house, I believe, as we see the net shot coming from Melissa Wheeler. Some of the other events Melissa was at were the 2023, 20, and 19 MoPac mixed playdowns. And this is going to go into the guards, which I said is not too bad if they can open it up. But the weight wise, this might not be great for aces. And I say that because if we looked at the overhead button cam, uh, it kind of based on the way the angles were lined up, it was able to promote yellow onto blue, and it promoted the blue into the house. But it's still third shot, so it might give the team something to think about later in the end. So this is an interesting situation here. Feldman's sitting one. It looks like I think they want to maybe close the door, pull one top 12. They don't want to set up a double, but I think they also want to be second stone. So then Aces has a couple of things to think about. And I heard full 12, so that is the call. They just want to draw basically to the center line and sit full 12. And that would outcount the Aces stone that is on the outer part of the 12-foot ring. The shot's away. It's been interesting this weekend because the Stips have had some draws, and sometimes they have a chance for multiple points, and they're just a little on the heavy side. This does not look heavy. This looks like it's going to curl into the pile, and it wicks off, and it does settle in the top of the house, full 12. It is out counting that second aces shot, so not a bad outcome. Maybe 2 out of 4, maybe 3 out of 4. So now there's multiple targets for aces to look at. There's a couple different ways to get to that shot stone. The shot that Feldman just put up, I don't think is ideal to run back for any possible double. The blue that's on the right side could be run back, but that's a fairly long run back. Um, so I think they're looking to maybe just draw down on top of it. Ooh, sorry, shifting around. So Aces heading down the ice. The broom's down. They're looking to do, I think, a heavy draw as she gets set. And you see it as it happens. Looking for heavy draw. They want to make sure. I think the miss is to be a little wide because they don't want to wreck on that pile. Really close. And it's just a little too wide. It's going to go sailing through the house. Oh, goodness. So Feldman's sitting two right now without the hammer. And so this is a great opportunity for Feldman to put up another shot in the house and close the door. In this case, again, being a little wide is a miss. Uh, it's hard to say because if they're a little narrow and they wreck on the guards, they can still like roll out to the center and then make it hard for Aces to make her last shot. Let's see here. And then after this end, I have a special guest that I'm going to be happy to bring on. But it'll be just in a couple of minutes. We're going to watch the end of this end, do a quick update around the rings, and then we will bring you up to date with my colleague. This is Feldman's last. Um, I think lights to miss being a little wide, but not too wide, is the other miss there. So the weight's pretty good, line's pretty good. This looks really, really good. It's around those guards, and it's going to settle in, biting the 8 foot. Oh, it's close to full 8 foot. So Feldman is sitting three, and Aces doesn't have a lot of options. She could maybe shoot the gap uh, between the Aloni land, kind of the space, and kind of draw to the button area. That might be the shot there. Just also based on the way the rocks are positioned. I don't see any way she can hit her way out of this jam. But this is a key shot because if Aces misses, Feldman has a chance to jump to a pretty sizable lead in the third end. Not quite as sizable as the Hurst lead on sheet four, as it were, but I think they're going for the draw as Jennifer Aces makes her way down the ice. So a lot is on the line here. I think if you're skipping though, I mean, there's pressure on you, but you have to not let the pressure get to you. You have to manage the pressure. And the first time I skipped, it's just kind of like a lot of times like this is a mess. What do I do here? As we see Jennifer's last shot here in the third, looking for a draw. It needs to get through that port. Let's see if it's going to be there. It's through the port, but it's heavy. Oh my goodness. So that is a steal of three for Feldman. We'll wait till it's official, but I think it's official. They kicked the rock, so they're happy with the score, or that the scoring's done. I don't know if they're happy with the outcome. Let's do a quick look around the rings, and then we'll be right back to our coverage of our feature sheet game. So, looking at our feature sheets, sheet two just wrapped up. Sheet three, we haven't been paying a lot of attention to, but it looks like a pretty interesting contest between Team Spangler of Wine Country. They're with Red Rocks taking on Team Burnt of Orange County. So far, it's been all Spangler.
All-Star Spangler. uh, Scoring two with a hammer in the first, stealing the second with a single. And it looks like they are in control of the front of the house in the third here with sitting two in the top. On sheet four, Waddington's looking to respond to giving up a sixth spot in the second, and it looks like they're in pretty. It looks like they might have that response ready to go. They're sitting two. They're counting two right now, but they have two others in the house, and if they were able to get rid of one of the Hearst Reds in the back, they could store a cricket number. Let's take a peek over there, just so you guys can see specifically what I'm talking about. So that's the scenario there. Looks like they have two more shots as David Hurst makes his first. So if Hurst wins, I don't know if I want to save the line, but we can say Hurst to first. He is first in pool play, and this is a pretty good shot. I think they maybe could have wanted to just corner freeze it. Um, if Hurst wants to try a pretty long run back double, they could do that and then open up the house for again that big number. Um, when you're down a lot of times you think you need to like score a lot and return quickly, but this is early in the game. If they only really need like two or three, and then force Hurst to ones, and to kind of claw their way back into the game, it's hard work, but it's not impossible. But at the same time, this is a takeout shot that has an okay percentage of success. It's not an easy double, but it's there. And also, even if they nose the red. It could be a setup for three, but this is Hurst. Sorry, Waddington. It's Waddington versus Hurst. This is Bill Waddington's first, I believe, and he's got one. It's gonna jam. Yep. And that's kind of the tricky aspect of it. Uh, I think it was probably good for them to take it on. If they nose hit that red that Hurst put up, they could have been sitting three, and then Hurst would have been forced to try to like a double or just kind of trade hits back and forth, and Waddington could have got two or three there. So this is David Hurst's last now. So sweepers were walking on it. Now they're both jumping on it. I think they're looking to maybe just. Well, this is going to be a little tight. So, but still not a bad outcome. His second shot. So even though they were facing two, they were able to kind of cut Waddington down to one. And it seems, I don't know if Waddington could take that. I mean, they could take, this is their last rock. So someone said maybe freezing to their own. I mean, they could draw for two, but if they want to try for three, I guess that's the risk. Do you go for a sure two, or do you take the risk for three? And they're looking at the risk for three. They're looking to run the yellow onto the red, and then they would get three. But that's also if the rock that gets run back sits around. If the rock that gets run back rolls away, then it's still just two. Another potential risk there. Um, the other thing is that if they do yellow onto red, get rid of those two reds. Again, looking for that big end. I mean that's the jackpot right for this end, and that would be for four, I believe. I don't think they'd be able to stick around for five. So a lot of math and angles involved here. Yeah, very interesting. Mm. So while they're talking about, it, let's see if I can get my guest mic'd up. Let's see if that'll work. All right, let's have you say something. Okay, let's oh wait a sec. He's not plugged in. So Bill Waddington has a shot dialed up. Let's see. I think that works. Yep.
All right.
Terrific. So Bill Waddington's last. We're gonna have a mystery voice for another 30 seconds before I introduce him. As we watch this key shot, going for yellow onto red, maybe onto red for four. Ooh, okay. I didn't see this shot. Uh, they don't won. So that was another high risk shot. They did an in off, hitting off the yellow, wicking off their yellow onto the red, and then having the shooter spill to the back, and it was like this close to working. Oh my goodness. So it's still the game is very much in favor of Hurst as Waddington puts up one, and the score is 6-2. Let's go back to our feature sheet where, as we noted, rocks are in play. There's a mute if you ever need to do it. Yep, awesome. All right, so shifting to see Leanne's stone here. Let's see where it's going. Where are we going? So we're doing the play-by-play and commentary. Ooh, this is through the port there. It's a pretty solid shot. Let's go to the button cam and see how that looks. And by the way, the score is 4-1 in favor of Feldman in the fourth. As I update our state-of-the-art futuristic graphics package that cost $1,000. That's too low. $1 billion. That's too high. $10,000. So Asis, I think, has to make a play on that blue that was just put up by Shearing. And this looks pretty good. It's gonna hit and roll under the corner guards. So this is a pretty good shot. However, it is still Feldman sitting one. It's a lonely one, as Aces has three yellows for second through fourth shot. And so Feldman's looking to kind of close the door there on the bottom side or the right side from this view, as Shearing's going to make her last. While Shearing makes her shot, let me introduce to you, the viewers at home, my guest for at least a little while from Team Malaret. This is the lead and holding the broom for Skip Stones, Mike Nunez.
Hi,
How you doing, Mike?
I'm doing great.
Awesome. Thanks for coming.
Thank you for
Uh,
having me.
I know you had a tournament of some ups and downs, and hopefully we'll talk a little bit about that. But also just happy to have you join for a little bit, just to kind of look at the action and see these games as they unfold.
Yeah, it's been great. Commentary's been good. Video's been great.
Thank you.
It's been fun to watch. Back at the hotel, it's been fun to watch people's comments on the live feed.
So here, I don't quite know what happened with Sheeran shots, but this is Melissa Wheeler's last, and I think they're going to throw. Let's see here. Okay, they're trying to hit the blue, and I think they wanted to roll back towards the middle, but it's going to roll out and away. It does get rid of the blues. I think that's what happened to Shearing Stone. It just ended up as a rock on the 8 foot there. So what are you seeing so far on this end? I mean, this has been kind of a back and forth game. You came in, I think, in the second end.
Yeah, still trying to catch up on this.
And this is also a situation with the women's final, just for Mike's benefit and for the viewers at home. This is a situation where um, Aces is the number one seed because they were undefeated through round robin. So
Okay.
they need to only win one more game to claim the championship. However, and I think the best way to view it is because Aces beat Feldman in round robin, Feldman now has to in turn beat Aces twice to win the championship.
Oh wow.
There's stuff on the line to play for. I mean, both teams are going to nationals, so that's something that they know, and I think people can feel pretty happy about. But there's a banner here.
Yes, there's
There's
hardware.
patches and stuff.
Yes, hardware to take home. That still matters.
Our club doesn't have a banner. I want a banner, man.
That's Team Hurst has been doing great.
Yeah, I mean, I think that's been one of the surprises of the tournament. Talking about it briefly, pool B or Group B in men's pool play was very evenly matched for the most part.
I would agree with that. Seeing Team Hurst show up and be the lowest seed
Overall.
overall.
Yeah.
Um, I've got to watch them throughout the year. They've been together. They've done a few events. They came in ready to play. Our team had to play them first, and they were the sharper team. They looked great, and they've continued to stay that way.
Yeah.
And I think it's great for Utah curling to have represented as well as they did.
Yeah.
I know that the two teams won 4 out of 6 games, 4 games against California teams. Feels great.
And
Yes.
teams that were at the Nationals last
At
year.
the Nationals, yes, Lazarowicz. If I remember right, he was a bronze medal team. So it was great.
And I know
It's great to
you
compete.
were at Arena Nationals last year.
Yes, I was on Team Brown, and we finished fourth overall. So
You want
yeah.
to maybe talk about your experience just kind of being at a national championship?
Um, yeah, it was in Minnesota. It was definitely curling country. The facility was great, the teams were great, the camaraderie is great, the vibe, the
Oh
atmosphere.
no. So Aces needed to open things up. We'll get back to your story in just a moment, but this is a key part of the end. Um, they needed to open it up, and mission accomplished, but because of the way the stones pinballed off of each other. And feel free to add your thoughts when appropriate. But one of the blues kind of spun into the house, and it was close to being second shot. As it is right now, it is Fell missing 1 and 3, while Aces is 2, 4,
2, 4.
and 5 in the house. So uh, Feldman, I think, is holding the high card in this end, but it's not a gimme for Feldman.
No, I am not sure who's up. Shoot,
So it's Feldman's turn. This is her
Feldman's.
last.
Okay.
So this is Feldman. I'm pretty sure it's just going to put up a guard and just make it really impossible for Aces to get to the house. This is Katie Feldman's last here without the hammer in the fourth. By the way, we are playing up to 8 ends. It's always good to remind people of that. Uh, for people used to watching the national championships, like these are not 10 end games. But for people who are in arena clubs, these are not 6 end games. Okay, this I think it's going to be counted as a miss, just because they crashed on the guard and they rolled towards the center, which wouldn't be bad, except for if we look at the overhead button cam, it just rolled too wide. So now there's a port through the end of the K in Black Lives Matter. Just run the yellow back onto blue, and if they stick to the yellow, that's two.
That's 2. Yes, they should be able to push the blue in the back 8.
Yeah. I mean, I guess also if they're super aggressive, I don't think they want to be super aggressive. I think again, you don't want to go for the jackpot pot unless it's absolutely necessary or the risk is minimal. In this case, it's not an easy shot to just for two. But if they throw like a mislat, I'm thinking they could do like a yellow onto blue double takeout and then be scoring 3 or 4. But that's the jackpot. And
Yeah, if they can push that blue, they could push both of them out. They could get 3, 4,
Yeah, 3 or 4.
4.
But
Yeah.
again, they're only down 3 at this point. We're halfway through the game. If they get
Yep.
2 here and draw within 1, it's still close. But if they miss, then Feldman's going to steal at least another 1, and and then Aces is chasing.
Yeah, I'd agree. I think taking 2 would be a really good victory here if they can just run straight back. That's what it looks like by the weight.
This looks pretty good. Called him off.
There we go.
Yellow on the, oh goodness,
Oh,
okay, not bad.
oh, one.
It's just for one. I think they needed another couple inches of curl, just because it looks like they hit it on the outside, and it was still solid enough to get the rocks moving, but it squirted one of the rocks to the side, and the shooter was not able to stick around. So that's why it just was the single. So, but it's better than giving up one.
I'd agree. It's half the score now.
I sometimes joke that it's a hard way to earn a single point, but it's definitely better than the alternative. So Feldman will have the hammer when we come back to our feature sheet in the fifth end. Let's take a look around the range and see how things are going. So, oh goodness, sheet three is a mess. Looks like they are close to the skip stones there. We might pop in and see how that ends going to end. The contest between Team Stephanie with the Red Rocks and Team Burnt of Orange County with the Yellows. Excuse me. And then on sheet four, Waddington is trying to generate some offense there. Um, they got a single right in the last time, and they're, I think, hoping to steal here, maybe steal multiple as they're sitting two against Team Hearst. And that contest currently is 6-2 in favor of Hearst. Let's jump in on sheet three, and you played at least one of these teams, right? Uh, let me jump onto that game and we'll look at it real quick. This is going to be either Stephanie or Burns. You played Burns. You beat Burns,
Yes, we beat them.
and that was kind of the that kind of led to the interesting outcome. And I know not the most happy outcome, as it were, for Team Millard. You were able to beat Burnt to kind of enter a three-way tie for the second spot.
Yes.
But we had to, we have a series of tiebreakers, and one of the tiebreakers was the draw to the button.
Yes, the draw of the button, that one for us, unfortunately, had us on the outside looking in
Yeah.
on that.
And I know that's tough. I mean, and I think the thing that a lot of organizers grapple with, and like this is my first time helping run an event, and I'm not the head official, so I can't really say anything super official, but just I think any organizers, when you have a limited event to decide, who advances and stuff, like it's really hard to decide what's the best. And I know sometimes like the draw to the button isn't the true aspect of the game, because I think you called it like a skills competition last night, and that's not entirely wrong. I mean, it's
Yes, I
but
did use that language.
but at the same time, I think like the ultimate tiebreaker is like to flip a coin or draw cards or draw lots and stuff. And how is that? I mean, I think it's even worse because with the draw shot, at least you have a chance through your skill and ability to, outperform another team and stuff, as opposed to, well, the die or the straw was longer, so I guess, I
Yeah, yes, and uh, I'm not sure how many people were at the Rock Creek Skills Camp in Colorado in May. The Dallas Fort Worth Curling Club put that on, and they had some interesting ways to deal with tiebreakers, which was one that I thought was really good is winning ends. You
mm-hmm.
would have to keep track during league play how many ends you won, and your total score would be like the tiebreaker. So if you won four ends in a game, those kind of
Yeah.
things. And they weren't using, which I know is a lot in the competition play with the counterclockwise, clockwise draw to the button, which is an arena nationals.
Yep.
So
Yeah, the draw shot is an important part of top level competition. So it's like it's unfortunate in some ways, but it's very important if you do want to go on to the next level. Also, timing. We're not timing these games, but you can see a blue clock in the background on the bottom frame here. It's counting down based on the ideal time for the game.
yes,
And if people are off pace, we'll have our head ice official kind of like walk out on the ice, like point at his watch and like sigh deeply until the other team gets the picture that they need to speed up.
we were at arena nationals. They would get within like 15 minutes, and they would ring a loud cowbell.
Okay.
So things like that. I think MoPac has done great with their first time doing this. Always way to learn something new, get better at it. But I'd like to thank MoPac for putting this on and giving us the opportunity to play for a chance to go to Arena Nationals. And I think that's what's important here. I think it helps the region as a whole to have this competition. Maybe it's good to have a problem when there's all these ties.
Yeah.
That shows the strength of the teams that are playing. Um,
Spangler playing Burn. I apologize. I don't have my cheat sheet open, so thank you to the viewer. So yeah, Spangler was in the other pool too. Did you play Stephanie?
we did play
Oh yeah.
Stephanie. That was unfortunately a game we let get away from us, and we lost from ahead.
And that's tricky too because like sometimes you feel like you're doing really well, and then all of a sudden you feel like you kind of hit a wall.
Yeah, I, uh, I was thinking about this actually. It's it's one of those things where we felt we were ahead and went back kind of to the curling 101 of playing defensively
Mm.
instead of feeling, oh, what's the word, the vibe. Like we got a good lead, let's stay with what we're doing. We decided to make a change tactically, and ultimately that was what helped Stephanie get back in and win, and they won that game.
Well, let's see this situation here. Burns is playing with the Yellow Rocks against Team Spangler, which I will get right. Uh, so this looks to be the last rock of the end, and I think they want to get rid of that uh, Spangler red and then possibly score three. But how do they get there, especially when there's that high center guard? So I think they you're on mute too. They're yellow. So Spangler is red, Burns is yellow. The score is 3-1. We're in skip stones. They're really thinking about this.
Yes.
I was hoping it would be quick so we could go back to our featured game. We will return to our featured game as soon as this end is over. Um, but definitely want to help share the coverage and hopefully get the team names correct. Again, thank you to the viewers for correcting me. Um, so I think that, and I think this is what they're looking at, is I think they want to maybe if they hit that yellow slightly right of center, they can kick it onto the red, and then the shooter will probably roll out, but they would get at least two.
That's what I'm thinking.
Yeah.
They can nose that.
I mean, I don't think
I don't think, yeah,
they could try the heavy draw, but the heavy draw it runs the risk of either wrecking on the high center guard or on the yellow.
I'd agree.
I see Spangler on the ice.
I think in this one, if you can get two out of this, I think it's a good win for team. Well, everyone calls him Burnt. He told us it was German and it was Bernd.
Oh, Barron.
So now we've been calling that, although he's conceded, and I can have a relation with him with my last name.
Mm,
People call me Nunez,
mm,
but in reality, it's Nunez.
mhm.
So Bernd, I'm going to call him Bernd. Everyone, Bernd.
Well, there's also a gentleman by the name of Crine in the tournament, and I'm doing my best. So I said his name a couple times, that I was able to finally ask him the correct name, and he set me straight, which I appreciate. So, and people are generally pretty understanding, which is nice. Uh,
Yes,
which is great because I know also like how personal someone's name can be.
agreed.
All right, so decision made. I think they're going for the draw, just based on where the broom is. This is an interesting call. I wish we had mics on the players.
Right? I'd love to be hearing that.
That's something I would like to do if our broadcasts evolve, is to mic up the players. But it is tricky because I would have to juggle a soundboard in addition to this on computer software system.
Yeah, you're doing really good here as a one-man show.
And again, thank you to San Francisco for such a great setup. Tony Del Porto helping to install the cameras and the system, not for us, for the club, but we're able to use the club system to our benefit, which is great. This draw is away. Sweepers are on it, going really hard. I think this is going to run the risk of nope. It's not. It's around the red. Now they're off. They
Yeah,
need to let it curl. This looks good now. They need to sweep it for length and they're off because it's not going to get there. So that's a Spangler steal of one. Now there's no more rocks in play. Are there? Oh no, there is more rocks in play. So it's hard to see the scoreboard, but Barron scored last with one in the third. So this is the fourth, and Spangler has hammer.
Spangler has hammer. So conceding the one, I think is smart.
Yeah,
Hold
yeah, that's
serve, I
true.
guess, if you're a team with hammer. They give up one, all things being equal.
Yeah. It fooled me though because the pillars on this bottom view are kind of blocking where the stones are. So it's like, where are the rocks? And also, there's usually someone down there to do the rocking position, so you know it's like, oh, there's at least one more. Looking at our feature sheet just to update. I'm gonna swap over there just for a second because this is an interesting development happening. If you look, there are three Aces yellow rocks in the house with three stones left. Um, Two Feldman stones and one Aces stone. And so Feldman, doing really well to this point, is now kind of in a bit of a jam because uh, Shotstone is definitely buried, and one stone's back to the house, kind of out of the way, and then one stone, which is the stone they're going to play on, is uh, is open. I think they're going to try and kind of slash double. Yeah. So let's see here. All right. So as I indicated, I do want to show the last of the sheet three, even though it took a little longer than I was hoping. This is Cameron Spangler's last, and I think are they just throwing it away? It's pretty close to being thrown away.
Yeah.
Yep, they threw it away.
Concede the one.
Yep. Okay. Was not a bad call. Was a hard fought end by Barnes. Uh, but also, I'm sure that's largely due to Spangler keeping the pressure on. Looking at sheet. Ooh. So it gets one. It rolls to the wing and looks to be second shot, which I think is also why Aces is making a play on it. Let's check out the overhead view more closely. So just kind of based, that's really close. But I think it's still blue. Are they making a play on it? What do you think?
I'm wondering if they want to draw. They're calling for the draw.
That's what I was thinking as a possibility. Just put another one in.
Try to get behind those three guards.
Yeah.
That'll at least give them two.
One the other thing is again looking at the risk versus reward aspect of it. Um, that shot stone is buried, and so if they put up another guard and make it hard to get to the button, then
It's another. Yeah,
yeah,
they get one. They got one.
yeah,
We're at the. We're in the fifth end on that.
yes.
Okay.
Feldman has a hammer. This is Jennifer Aces's last. This looks a little up way, and they're trying to go for the in off. That's also the fun thing. People who've listened to my commentary, I often, oh,
It looks like it's just.
oh
Uh,
no. So that was the risk. The reward was to try and get rid of one of the potential blues. Um, didn't work out. So, and as I was saying, people who listen to my calls, like sometimes I'll predict a shot, and it's like, oh, that's not the call that I was thinking it was. So I think they have a draw to the lid for one. So, and again, Feldman being
yes.
up two is not a bad outcome. And for Aces, it's not bad for them because they're forcing, and then they have a chance to score multiple points in the next end with a hammer, and Aces would have the even end hammers. So Katie Feldman makes her way down the ice. Um, for you, I mean, you throw lead stones, but you also hold the broom at the end of the game, at the end of the round to, for Carl Stones. What's it like just to hold the broom in that situation and kind of watch the shot go down the ice because I was talking earlier about how there's so much decision making that goes into calling a game, and even when you're holding the broom at the end, it's like you
Hmm.
don't call the round mostly, but
Right.
you have to look at the shot, read the ice, and like plan for plan Bs and a whole lot more if you're off. So Feldman's last is underway. Looking for a piece of the button for one. Line looks pretty good. Needs to get over. The weight was good. I think the weight was better than the
Just gotta
line.
get in the 8. Yes,
Just the one.
just the one.
Yep.
Good job.
All right. So that was a good force by Aces. That was a steal. Sorry, it's not a four. So as I was saying, what's it like to kind of watch the rock go down the ice and having to kind of look and see, where the rock might end up if it's not going where you think it's supposed to go? What do you do then and stuff?
Uh, for me, it's been reading it in real time and trying to see like 3 to 5 different scenarios. Like you're saying, you can get really busy. For me, I try to just think of one or two and focus more on the weight of the stone and then react based on that weight. Um,
Yeah. And then also, what's it like when you have to communicate a change in play to your front end and stuff?
so with our team, when we communicate, we just do the directional sweeping. So we will just use one word like their name.
Hmm.
I think it makes communication clear and easy to use. So we generally have 3 words for sweeping, either the name of the sweeper or sweep for both.
Yeah. You
It
can't say
makes
go
go, yeah, that doesn't because it sounds like no, right?
or
So
whoa.
whoa, yeah, like staying away from words that sounds similar. We definitely try to work on that. So I feel like it has a dynamic adjustment when you're holding the broom that you can just have a couple words.
That makes sense. And
And
then, is your pizza here? Yeah.
our pizza's here.
So Mike might be jumping away from us in a moment to get some pizza. I had my pizza this morning. That was Jacqueline Pitlars with the first for Aces, and we see Laura Lunetta with her first, going into the house deep, pretty open. So either Aces could hit that out or draw to it. It looks like they're setting up to draw down onto it with Jacqueline's next. So, and then for an event like this, there's not like a lot of formal broom stacking after games, but you still get to talk to the teams and stuff. What's that been like?
This event seems hasn't been what I expected,
Okay.
but it might be because this is competition, Arena Nationals, you know, a chance to play there, and there wasn't too much of that in Minnesota last year. But afterwards, it seemed like a lot of people wanted to, be friendly and stuff. So
Yeah. I think also maybe just because how condensed the competition is, because we had to fit in
yes,
a 10 team field for the men in 2.5 days.
yeah, I think it's probably more of that. But it seems like the times for the men's side, I can only speak for that the times to play seemed as fair as
Yeah.
possible.
Yeah, we tried to, I think, minimize the back-to-backs. We were asking teams to volunteer, but we tried to have them volunteer after their game and not before their game,
Yes,
because I know what it's been like to have to like do ice duties before a game, and oh, you're done mopping the ice, now you got to throw a rock.
right. That was new. I'd not done that yet, where you participate
Hmm.
helping cleaning up or setting up the warm room. That's new for me.
And it's slightly different, but the club kind of asked us to help out a little bit more,
Hmm.
and obviously we're great for the club to be here, and we definitely want to help them out. So I think it worked out. I think most teams are fairly happy about how it worked out. So
Yeah, I didn't hear any chatter amongst the teams about any of that.
yeah, this is Julie Wolves. I know we did ask a couple of teams to come and help with ice early in the morning, and that might be if I were grumbling, that would be what I would grumble about. This is to be a little up weight, looking for a takeout. I think maybe a double there. He's trying to get one and then hit the blue in the back to jam. Uh, Kind of an interesting setup happening in the house. Let's look at the overhead cam. So Feldman is sitting one. They have the hammer. So this looks to be maybe a possibility for Feldman to generate multiple points here, as we see Melissa's second coming. Feldman's yelling for sweeping. Can you hear? Yep.
Yes, I can hear through the glass.
That's also something that we do a lot more in arena clubs, and I guess they do on dedicated ice. Is that when you're in arena, you're kind of being a little bit more up volume, and when you go to a dedicated ice club, it's not. It can be a little quieter.
Yes, you're not dealing with the public skate or crowds or the music playing overhead.
The blues traveler.
Yes.
So that's a high guard. I think they wanted it deeper, but they did sweep that fairly heavily. So that was, I think, a really great job by the sweepers. Looking at sweepers again, the Aces sweepers are going hard on this.
Wonder if it'll get over enough.
Oh, so definitely, oh, like move over if to
Yeah.
the center. I think it's pretty close. I think we're still consistently seeing 2.5 feet of curl, 2.5 to 3 feet of curl. Some stones do tend to dive. Maybe it's just the rotation that the curler puts on the stone on release, or some stones might react differently. What were you seeing on the ice during the event?
It's that sounds right. It seemed most of the we played on the sheet 5 and sheet 1, so it seemed like the edges towards the walls had the least amount of curl,
Hmm.
and it might just be because of the physical setup.
And
But overall,
yeah,
our team was satisfied with the amount of curl, both directions, in turn, out turn. It was
yeah. And
it
likewise,
was good
a lot of
quality.
arena clubs like usually it's just like one path to the button and that's it.
Yes, one way. Figure out how to hit a stone by bouncing off another stone to get somewhere where no one can touch it.
That was a great shot there by Leanne Shearing. Now it appears to be that Feldman's sitting two. However, it looks like Asis is going to try and kind of kick that yellow that's in the top 8 foot, top 12 foot area back into the pile there, or at least in front of it. Asking for back 8 weight, I believe. This is Melissa Wheeler's first. And I mean, I know the men's and women's teams may have not mixed a lot at nationals, but did you run into Melissa at nationals?
I remember seeing her, but no, I did not have a chance to talk.
Okay.
Um, but did make some friends from last year at Arena Nationals from the women's side. Dallas Fort Worth, I mentioned them earlier. They've been very friendly and helpful, and they are looking to get their own dedicated
Oh
facility.
yeah. It's really awesome that clubs are working on dedicated ice. This is going to be pretty close. It's going to raise, but it's going to raise it towards the button, which is good. So now it definitely puts the pressure on Feldman on how to get that yellow out of the way.
Looks like they could see enough of it.
Well, and even if they miss narrow and hit the yellow, the higher up. Ooh, okay. I say that you don't want to run any yellow back to the pile.
Right. You
So
want to take the one on the top of the 4.
yeah, but they also want to wreck on the blue guard. Feldman calls him off. Needs to curl up. So this is the kind of the danger that we were contemplating. Ooh,
Great shot.
still danger.
Just kind of moved it over.
Yeah, but also moved it behind cover. That was a tricky shot, and that was I guess a good setup for Aces to kind of
Put up another guard up there.
yeah. So now it's Aces with 1, 3, and 4, and Feldman sitting two in
Two.
the wings. So, and then you were also mentioning, you mentioned Lazarowicz, who was at Nationals last year. There were 2 or 3 teams that were at Nationals last year that were at this event, right? Were you able to kind of renew any contacts with people? I know you renewed the rivalry with Lazarowicz.
Yes, I did. I made sure I brought our jerseys from last year with Team Brown, and I talked to Lazarowicz afterwards, and he remembered. He wasn't sure. He wasn't sure if I wore it for them, but then when we talked for a moment, then he realized, like, oh yes, I remember you. I'm like, yes, you will remember me.
And so I think you were happy just to be able to face him in competition and emerge victorious.
Yes, I will say it in good sport. It was the revenge game for me. Um, we played them well. I think both teams were really tired mentally and physically at that point, and that's what I've learned in competition play. It's surprising when you get towards the end of the competition how bad everyone's game gets. It's crazy.
Oh,
Um,
this is going to be interesting here. Oh, no. Okay, not the worst
no
outcome.
change.
So it hit one of the rocks into the house, but it also kind of glanced and no kind of nosed one of the other blues out of the way. But then the initial moving rock kind of stuck around for a second shot.
Yeah, so they now have 2 and 4.
Yeah,
2 and 4. Oh, they gained one in the house.
provided there's not a rock behind
I don't think there is.
aces. And then
Oh, yellow.
oh yeah, so yeah, it's on the wings. So like I said, there
Two,
was a rock
three,
behind
5.
Jennifer.
These camera angles make it fun.
Yeah, we can switch views so you can see if you look behind. Yep.
Yep, there's one behind.
It's I think it looks yellow from here. So tell us a little bit more about the venue for national championships because that's where they're going this year.
Back to Evelyn.
Yeah, they're back to Evelyn.
Yeah, it's a great facility. I believe Team Durkin plays out of there,
Okay.
and it's a small town. You wouldn't think there's a curling facility there, but when you walk in, it's it's it's.
8 sheets, right?
I thought there was 6.
Okay.
I can't remember, but being in curling country like that, I'm still relatively new to the sport. I've only been playing 3 years, so it was a really great experience to see like what curling life looked like.
Yeah.
The facility's great. They had food. They had a full bar. They even had the Minnesota Vikings game on Sunday on Championship Sunday, and but prior to that, they had hockey on, or it's not hockey, curling
Yeah.
all day, live curling from Canada.
Well, and
I
there's a tournament happening this weekend up in Canada, the PointsBet Invitational, which is kind of a single elimination tournament. So there's been some pretty interesting upsets. Team Kui was eliminated in the first round.
Wow,
Yeah. So I don't know if they're doing it this year, but Curling Canada paid for everyone's teams to get there, but then you win cash for every win you get. But if you lose the first game, it's like, well, that was a free flight
free
to
fight for
where,
one game.
wherever that the event is, uh, which is usually a pretty nice part of Canada, especially when they do it in like Nova Scotia or Alberta. But a lot of events happen on the prairies too, and that again talking about curling culture, that's where a lot of curling culture is up north.
Yeah, it was great to experience that. A lot of the teams stayed. A lot of the teams cheered each other on watching. People would come early to watch, hang out, eat, watch, drink, and watch.
This is Katie Feldman's first. There's a draw path to the forefoot, looking like there's enough weight to kind of tap the yellow back. So just kind of all of a sudden this kind of port opened, although this shot is pretty wide.
I think they're
Maybe
hoping to
you wake
bounce
up.
off
Nope.
that. Yeah.
It might make some contact on. Nope. It might do. No.
That'll go swept right out.
Oh man.
We have a
So
tie.
Asis is holding the high card in this this end.
Should be straightforward hit.
Yep.
Get 2. Hopefully roll in. Oh wait, if they knock that out, if they can run the blue back,
Yeah.
they could get 3.
Well, I think Aces if Aces gets a hit, then Feldman's just forced for a one with a hammer.
There's still one more shot.
Yeah.
Oh, okay, my bad.
Yeah. It trips me too sometimes. Where you're focused on the situation in the house, and you look at the delivery side. It's like, oh, there's the other team has one more stone. So this is Aces' last without the hammer here in the
Definitely
sixth.
hit and roll. Try to hide.
Yeah. This also looks to me a little bit on the wide side, but they are looking to make contact with the blue and the wings. Oh, they're drawing in. Okay. Again,
Safe, right?
yeah.
Block.
I think they're going to zig and then they zag.
That protects the one.
Yeah. Oh goodness. So this is a situation where Feldman got off to a really hot start, and slowly but surely through a solid and consistent gameplay, like Aces is really putting
This,
on the pressure, stealing single in the last end, maybe another single here. Um, I don't see a shot. I don't know what you're saying.
I know the women play differently than the men. They're definitely more finesse. Guys always just want to blow everything up, right?
Yeah,
Guy's point of view, I guess I would try to run stone back right at the center, maybe hit off of it, sweep it away.
and that would be for one. No.
Yeah,
Again, looking at the risk and reward. Um,
if you can get the one out of the four, hit it
yeah,
into the 12.
Feldman's
It's
looking at what you're talking about. It looks like looking at the exposed one. It's the run back is tricky because also if you miss or you're light, you're just maybe running another one in to add another counter for the other team.
Is this their last shot?
This is their last shot. A lot of pressure.
Oh, they're gonna.
They're gonna try and draw.
Yep.
I I don't think the draw is there, which is also the situation. I don't think the draw is there because it has to get right to the it has to be close to full button, and there are a lot of center guards between that between where the broom is and where the stone has to end up. So this is Katie Feldman's. I think she's choosing the low risk shot, even though the odds of reward are also relatively low.
I'm not sure that how much that line has been used throughout this
And
match.
that's a good point too. I was noting yesterday that especially on arena ice, you kind of tend to get like a narrow-minded or kind of blinded to considering the full sheet of possibilities. The weightless probably pretty good given that this site hasn't been used in a while.
Hopefully, there's not too much frost on that stone. It looks like it's curling.
Yeah, it's tearing. Oh, it's slowing down a bunch,
Oh, nice.
and
Get
it's curling.
around, get around,
Yeah,
get around. Oh,
yeah. So steal the one, and just like that, we're tied. So
great game.
yeah, that's it's been great having you on. Did you want to go to your pizza?
I will get some pizza.
All right.
Maybe I'll have some time left before we have to get on a plane back to Utah.
Yeah, you're leaving right away after this game. So
Yes.
really thankful you were able to come back and join us on the broadcast.
Yes, thanks for having me. Again, thanks to MoPac for putting this on. I'm sure a lot of us appreciate this.
Yeah,
We'll look forward to 2024.
yeah, we just have to start organizing it next week. So
Great. Let me know.
thanks, Mike.
Yes.
Bye bye.
Bye.
Welcome back to the 2023 Arena National Arena Playdowns. We're not at the Nationals yet, although these two teams on the ice will be there in early November. We are tied in end seven after Aces just stole singles in the last two ends. So we're going to shift to around the rings and see how the other two games are going. It looks like it's getting pretty heated on the other two games. Sheet three is a game between Spangler of one country and Team Barent of Orange County. Uh, Looks like after Spangler opened with a deuce in the first end, they've traded ones back and forth, and it is currently 4-1 in favor of Spangler. Sheet four is the other men's semifinal between Team Hearst of Oval Curling with the Red Rocks taking on Team Waddington of Orange County. They're playing with the yellow. Hearst put up a six spot in the second end, and since then it's been all Waddington putting up singles. I think Hearst having a bit of a cushion and using it to um, only give up a couple points here or there. But at some point, I think Hurst probably needs to get back into the scoring column. We'll see that hopefully as it develops. Uh,
this last shot looks like Hurst ran back to guard to open up the center. But currently it's a Waddington single in the house. We'll see how that end concludes. Looks like they're finishing the third stones on 4. So we'll keep you up to date as these games continue. Let's pop in on sheet 3 really quickly just to see how the contest between Spangler and Barents is going. So we can see here that they are um, on stip stones. Uh, Barents with the yellow stones is third shot in the house. I think they want to maybe open things up to get into the house. They have the hammer. I think they are maybe looking for multiple points here in this end to get back close against Spangler. So this is gonna hit. Okay, this is I think ultimately a miss. Not ultimately a miss. It's hard to say. Oh, that was the end of the end. So that was a steal of 2 then. So that was a miss. The other thing that comes to mind is that when you're skipping, uh, you might hear me say sometimes that was kind of a miss or, sort of miss, or that was sort of made. If it's the end of the end, you have to make that shot or like to score or you're not. So either you make the shot or you miss. So in this case, unfortunately, that was a miss. Let's return to our feature sheet where rocks are in play. We were talking about some of the things that are done at the nationals that we try to do at the regionals or maybe not do at the regionals for various reasons. At the national level, there's usually a minute break between ends as the games are timed. And there's also like a 5 minute halftime break after the fourth end. So teams could, you know, run to the powder room, as it were, maybe grab a quick snack just to get their energy up. We're not doing that here because we're not timing. It was our first time doing it. I think we hope to bring timing in the future, a future tournament. Uh, but there's no break between ends, and so everyone just keeps playing. And I think that's helped keep the games on track this weekend. Uh, we've only had a couple games that went a little long. Otherwise, most of the games have been pretty timely. This shot here from Julie, I believe, uh, puts up another center guard. The no-take center guard rules off as well as the free guard zone. So that wasn't Julie. My bad. That was Melissa for Team Feldman. And so Aces is going to ask Julie. This is Julie right now coming down the ice. She's going to start clearing some of these Feldman stones. We're all square here in 7. It's been a great game so far. As I've mentioned from time to time, if you want to keep track of all the live scores from this sheet and all the other sheets, you can check out bonspieler.com. They are a site with live scores of curling contests from coast to coast, uh, including this event. We're very thankful for Bon Spieler for being able to host this event. It's powered by the San Francisco Bay Area Curling Club. And so Julie's shot there does clear one of the blues. And so now uh, Melissa's last shot here is going to try and draw around the pile, I believe. I think that was a call. It's going to be really close. It's coming up a little light. It's going to be in front of that center yellow. So Feldman's sitting 2 in the house. One's pretty well covered, about 40% exposed. There's one in the back that's about 20% open, and Asis could draw around. There's draw paths to the button on both sides right now. Asis is looking over what to do. Looks like sheet 4 is in stipstone, so we might pop over there in just a second to see how that end will conclude. But for now, we're going to see how Melissa Wheeler's net shot is going to go. I believe that they're going to call for a hit just to maybe open up the center. Also establish more control by Aces of the center path. Looking at some heat here. Okay, a little pinball action. I think they were trying to go for the blue that was in the house, but it did wreck on the guards. So the guards did their job, and the yellow kind of rolled on top of the blue in the center, pushing that blue to be shot or second shot. It's hard to tell. And so I think Feldman's asking her third, Leanne Shearing, to put up another guard. So definitely going to be a guard. It is kind of leading to some staggered center guards. Pretty interesting setup there. Let's pop over to sheet 4 now. This appears to be close to the end here. This is the last Waddington Stone. And again, it's a pretty interesting setup. As I mentioned, Hurst was able to put up a 6 spot in that second end, really well played. And since then, Waddington's just kind of put one in the house and a bunch of garbage in front of the house. So Waddington's sitting one. I think Waddington's going to close the door and really force Hurst to, make a circus shot on his last to get something out of this. I don't think Hurst wants to give up another point here. There's also another point just basically keeps Waddington in this game even more. On our feature sheet, Asis drew around all the center stones and rested in the back 8 foot, good enough 4 shot, out counting those 2 Feldman stones in the house. This is interesting. So the Waddington stone was heavy. So there's a fairly sizable port for Hurst to draw into to establish a 3 point lead to extend the lead back out to 3 points. So this would probably be a good outcome for Hurst. Sometimes, sometimes if you hold the hammer for too long, you kind of feel like you just need to get rid of it so you can try something different. And so this would seem to be a shot for Hurst to score a single, get rid of the hammer, and see what he can do in the remaining 2 ends of regulation. This is the last shot coming from David Hurst here on sheet 3 against Team Waddington of Orange County. Ramin Gilbert comes out to help, so they want to make sure it has enough weight to get there. They're looking for full 8 foot. Is it going to get there? They're going to sweeping. Do they have enough? It's going to be, oh my goodness, 6 inches short. They can't get rid of that hammer. Oh wow. Uh, Waddington is a hanging tough, man. Welcome to American Gladiators curling style. We'll be back to check down this game in a few moments, but let us return to our feature sheet where it is a messy, messy house. But right now, the house favors the house is favor of Feldman. Uh, I do promotional materials for my curling club, and so one of the curling posters I want to do is something like a curling house, people in the house or something. But like the house always wins, which doesn't really make sense for curling, but people would know what we're talking about. So I think that works. The house always wins. So Feldman's vice, Leanne Sharon was able to draw to the 4 foot line and is sitting 1, 3, and 4, while Asis was able to draw to the back 8 and is sitting 2 and 5. I think Aces has a chance to kind of chip out that blue and kind of force Feldman to make that draw again. The broom is down as Jennifer Aces makes her way down the sheet to the hack. And okay, just based on where her vice has the broom, it's going to be a draw. So not a hit. If there is a hit, it's going to be a soft weight contact. And here we go. That was a very soft release. Looks like some good rotation. Sometimes when you do a soft release, it's really easy to under rotate, and there's a chance it could over curl here. It really is digging in. They're trying to hold it straight, but it's going to end up being short, and it might make contact with the pile in front of the house. It doesn't make contact with the pile in the house, but it does kind of add another center guard to the jumble, as it were. Just like that great Guns N' Roses song, "Welcome to the Jumble." They do have words in games or fun in games, so why not the jumble? Shana na 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 need. Thank you again for tuning in. Hopefully my corny jokes are not dissuading you from enjoying this broadcast. So for Feldman, I think they want to draw and put one in full 8 foot, but they want to do it in a way that doesn't create a double. And they don't because they don't want Aces to hit and be sitting shot after this. So this is a key shot coming from Katie Feldman here with her first of two with a hammer here in the seventh end. Feldman's talking over the shot with her front end. Now getting set. And I think light's the miss here because you don't want to be too deep. Again, you don't want to give Aces a chance to draw on top or hit and sit for one. So this looks pretty good. So it's hanging out a little wide. So now it's a matter of weight. And the weight's pretty good. All right. Looks pretty good. I think it does offer the opportunity for Aces to hit and roll under the center there. So it does create a possibility, but Aces has to make this shot. And definitely a huge shout out to our viewers on YouTube, people leaving comments with friendly corrections, some encouragements for the other teams. Go Wine Country or Geo Wine Country. Some people rooting for Team Aces. It's great to see people able to tune in and watch their teams. We're definitely happy to be able to provide this service to our viewers, to our region, MoPac. And again, thanks to all the teams, the San Francisco Bay Area Club, for helping to facilitate this wonderful weekend of curling. It's been great. And so Asis is looking for a hit and roll, even hit and stick, just to add another Asis stone for Feldman to think about is a possibility. And also for the viewers in the chat, if you guys see a shot that you think something that they might want to consider, let me know. They can't hear me on the ice, but it's again kind of contributes to the conversation. This looks really tight. Is it going to be there? It's pretty close. It's going to hit and roll. It's going to roll over and through the house out of play. So that was really good by Asis. At the very least, it removed one of the Feldman counting stones. And so now Feldman has, I think, really a draw for two. If she does that same shot she just threw, she scores a deuce and we'll have a 2 point lead coming home. Uh, and in a situation where Feldman needs to win 2 games to claim this championship, just based on how the round robin turned out, Asis was the number one seed undefeated, defeating Feldman during round robin play. And so all Asis has to do is win this game and they get the championship. If Feldman wins, Feldman has to beat Aces twice to hoist the imaginary trophy that I'm picturing in my mind. Uh, they do need a banner. Say they will need to raise the banner at their club. So this is a tee shot coming from Katie Feldman, looking for a draw for two, and she's doing the same shot twice. There's some backing behind her, and here we go. This looks a little more up than last shot, but which is good because the swoopers were carrying that last stone, but they don't want to be too heavy and have it go through the house. This is starting to carry, and it needs to sit down. This looks pretty good. There is that backing, and then also there's a possibility, and this could come into play. It's not going to come into play. Uh, if it had a little bit more weight and curled, stayed straight and then broke a little bit more, that could have maybe tapped that yellow bat maybe for three. That was going to be a tricky shot. As it is, Katie Feldman successfully draws for two to retake a 2-point lead against Team Asis of Silicon Valley. We are headed home in this eighth and pivotal final end. Uh, Definitely get to see if there's going to be one more game on the women's side in just a moment when we come back to the feature sheet. Let's turn our attention around the rings and kind of see what game we might cut to just to see what's going on. Looks like uh, Looks like Hurst and Waddington on sheet four is still very much in progress. Let's shift to sheet three. The contest between Spangler of Wine Country playing with the Red Rocks taking on Team Barrent of Orange County. Again, Barrent has had some bad luck in the past couple ends. And again, they're chasing Spangler here in the sixth end as Spangler has one red buried. But Barrent has two yellows and could maybe generate a cricket number if they're ever able to pluck that red out. This is Cameron Spangler's first, it appears. And I think they're maybe just looking to throw another one into the pile and maybe muck things up a bit. And so it looks like mission accomplished. There is doesn't look like a Christmas tree. What does the formation in front of the house look like? I often call it like a wall of Gibraltar. This definitely looks a formidable landmark for Team Barrett to take on. Two stones left in play, I believe, in this end. Or this might be the last rock. Let me ask someone real quick. I'll be right back. All right, so I was informed by our head ice official, Kevin, who we're very thankful for being here this weekend, that this is the hammer coming for Team Barrett. And again, they're facing a very tricky situation. If you're a skip, you do not want to see yourself in this situation. Based on where they have the room, they're looking for a very thin in off, hit the inside of that red and kind of roll towards the button. And honestly, that looks to be the shot. Um, there's some draw paths open on both sides, but I don't know if they're close enough to outcount that Spangler red uh, just above the 4-foot line on the center there. So they are going for it. This could be a deciding point for the game because if Spangler were to steal another one, they would go up 7-1 with 2 ends to go. This is an elimination game. This is Kevin for Silicon Valley. So final shot coming from Austin Barnes, looking for a thin in off to stay alive. Lots of weight, too much weight as the shooter rolls away, and that is going to be another steal of one. And is that going to be enough? No. Oh, it is enough. I apologize. Spangler will win this semifinal 7-1 and advance to the men's final coming up at 5:30. It's coming up at 5. The men's final is at 5. But congratulations to Team Spangler to advancing to the men's final. And by being a finalist, they punch their ticket to the Nationals coming up early November. Congratulations to them. Let's shift our attention back to our feature sheet and see what's what, but not in the butt. So it's a long weekend. So we got Rocks and Play. Asis has looks like one in the house behind a corner guard. Feldman has a pair of center-ish guards, but they're not on the center line. So looking at this shot coming from, yeah, yeah. So we're seeing some people depart, but uh, we're definitely seeing who's going to be able to stay alive here. Uh, Leanne shearing through a takeout to kind of keep an open house. So while Asis gets her net shot set up, let's take a peek at sheet 4. Let's do a skip stones on sheet 4, if that's okay. The contest between Team Hearst from Oval Curling Club of Utah taking on Team Waddington of Orange County Curling. Um, so Hearst jumped up big, and since then, Waddington's just been able to kind of peck, and claw away at that lead with a set of singles, 4 unanswered ends. And it's now a 1-point game. But Hurst is knocking on the door here, sitting 3. This appears to be the last shot coming from Waddington. And then Hurst will have his final shot. Hurst is standing in the center of the screen right now in the orange and blue jacket. Well, they're both wearing orange, the blue dominant jacket. So a very important shot from Waddington coming. Bill, I believe, where needs to basically either be shot or cut down Hurst's
three that Hurst is currently sitting. Looks like they threw a little bit of heat at it. I think maybe they're trying for the double. Around the guard. Going to get one. It's going to roll. Oh, goodness. Oh, my goodness. So this appears to be two or three. However, we can definitely say that uh, Hurst is trying to give up the hammer the sand. I said at last end that sometimes you got to get rid of the hammer. Sometimes if you just can't generate offense with a hammer, like maybe you need to try something different, and that might be playing without the advantage of going last. So in this case, this is Team Hurst. Ramin Gilbert holding the broom, calling the game, throwing third. A draw for two or three here coming. So this looks pretty good. Make sure it's around the guards. Needs to make sure it sits. It's hot. Oh, they have backing. They're going to draw to the yellow in the back, but it's going to sit down before then. And that looks to be a score of three or four. They might be doing a measure, which is the most exciting measuring device in all of sport. It's always good hyping whatever makes our sport unique. And it is going to be a measure on sheet four. We will update you on what might happen there. Uh, does Kevin? Yeah, does Kevin know there's a measure? Okay, yeah, there's an official going out. One moment. Okay, while they're doing that measure, I just have started the measure, so let us stay with that for a moment, just because it's great television. Our head ice official, Kevin Jorgensen's on the ice. Looking to see which shot. It looks red from here, but again, I've said that the overhead camera doesn't lie, but it doesn't tell the whole truth either. So I don't know if people in the chat know what's shot. I'd definitely love to hear it. It's yellow. So that is three for Team Hurst to take a commanding 9-5 lead in this game. And no handshakes. They're going to keep playing. And why not? This is the last end. So we'll keep an eye on that. Um, but while we do, let us shift back to our feature sheet where it is the all important eighth end coming home. We're going to see if Team Feldman can defeat Asis to stay alive in this championship and set up a elimination second game. And this is a interesting situation currently. We are in Stipstones. Feldman threw her first Stipstone, and we're now seeing how Asis responds. Jennifer Aces' shot is away. The chat notes if you have to look more than once, call for the measure to be taken. That's great advice. Also, the details in the ice are not entirely precise at times, and so Aces draws in. Let's update the score. Uh, Aces has the hammer. We are in the eighth end, and Feldman has a 6-4 lead over Aces. The situation is if Feldman wins, it sets up an elimination game. If Aces wins, Aces claims the championship. In any case, both teams are going to Arena Nationals in early November at Curl Misabi. I believe it's Curl Misabi. So it looks like I think Feldman wants to uh, draw down on top of it or hit like a gentle weight hit, a soft weight hit, because that's all they need to do. They just need to get rid of this Aces shot, and then Aces can't score 2 points, and that would be the game. So to run Aces out of rocks for the win, to set up an elimination game for the championship. This is Katie Feldman's last here in the eighth. Calling for line. Now they're trying to push it over. Is it going to be enough? And no, actually, it's really close. It's not enough. It's not enough. Looks like we have a chance. Aces has a chance for two to set up an extra end. A very important draw coming here from Jennifer Aces. Arena Nationals will be at Curl Masabi from November 9th to 12th in Eveleth, Minnesota. And both teams here are going, but this is a chance to tie the game and a chance to win the championship outright. Our regional championship outright is Jennifer Aces. This looks to be a little heavy. Is it going to sit down in time? And the answer is no. Team Feldman survives game one by a score of 6-5, and that sets up our championship game coming up at 5 o'clock. I want to make sure I get our time correct. 5 o'clock is our championship game for both the men's and women's. The men's championship will be on this sheet, sheet two, and then on the neighboring sheet will be a rematch between Aces and Feldman for the championship. So congratulations to Feldman. Uh, Congratulations to Aces too. They're both winning the nationals, and we will see these teams both again in a little while. In the meantime, let us shift to sheet four and see how the match between Hearst and Waddington is going. So, looking at the situation, Hearst has a fairly commanding 9-5 lead. Hearst is sitting two, and Waddington puts one in the top of the house, top 12, to be a second shot. And basically, Hurst is going to be batting cleanup here. Really, really challenging Waddington to put more stones in play. And looks like we are running down to the last stones here in terms of possibly running Waddington out of rocks. This is coming from Ramin Gilbert, the third for Team Hurst, holding the broom, calling the game. Jerry St. James, the lead, is in the house, holding the broom for Ramin. And looking to get rid of the yellow counter primarily and to keep a clean house secondarily.
mission accomplished on both counts. And now for Team Waddington, each rock must remain in play or it's game over. So this we got to this point. This is a crossover between men's Group B and men's Group A. Waddington was the number two team coming out of Group Play, while Hearst was the number one team coming out of Group Play. They both had 3-1 records, but Cameron Spangler from Wine Country, who just punched their ticket to the finals and the nationals, has been undefeated so far in this tournament. And this shot coming from Team Waddington. And I think they're trying to find some cover, some place to hide this rock so that they can try and generate some offense. But this is coming in a little hot. It's slowing down. Is it going to stick around? Remains pushing it and it coaxes it to the back 12. So it's going to stick around. It's exposed. And so for Ramin Gilbert, who's called a great game, who's called a great tournament, will have a chance to hit this rock and punch Team Hurst's ticket to our MoPac Men's Arena Finals coming up at 5. And this is a Cinderella story of sorts. His shots away, looking to punch out that yellow rock from Team Waddington for the win. Sweepers are on it. I think just cleaning, just cleaning. Is it there? It's there. It's got it. And that is going to be the game as Team Waddington acknowledges the inevitable and shakes hands. Congratulations to both teams, Team Waddington of Orange County for their semifinal finish, and Team Hearst, they are going to the final. Uh, Again, a relatively new team from the Oval out of Utah, and it's I'm from the Oval, so I can say this honestly. It's stupendous to see how far they've been able to come, and we get to see them again at 5 tonight. So just to recap what we saw today in the first women's final, we had Team Asis and Team Feldman. Team Feldman has to win twice to win the championship, and they've accomplished the first part by hanging on to defeat Asis 6-5 through 8 ends. Team the men's semifinal, the first one on sheet 3, featuring Team Spangler from Wine Country, uh, addressing Team Barrett of Orange County. Spangler was able to wrap things up early, defeating Barrett 7-1 through 6 ends. And then on this sheet, semifinal 2 featuring Team Hurst of Oval Curling from the Oval from Utah, defeating Team Waddington from Orange County 9-5. Team Waddington definitely hanged in there, but Hurst had some big hands, and that was the difference in that game. So that's going to do it for us here for our first round of Championship Sunday. I definitely appreciate you guys tuning in, and we hope to see you tonight at 5 o'clock Pacific time, where again our final is going to be the men's game between Team Spangler of Wine Country taking on Team Hurst of the Oval. It's going to be our feature game at 5. On the neighboring sheet will be the rematch, Game 2, between Team Asis of Silicon Valley and Team Feldman of Wine Country. So we do hope that you'll join us then. And so for all of us here at MoPac and the San Francisco Bay Area Curling Club, this has been your host, Ryan. And thanks again to Mike Nunez for joining us early in the broadcast. This has been your host, Ryan, saying so long, good curling, and I will see you at 5.